Hi guys, welcome to day 43 of chronic fatigue syndrome, my friend, my enemy, my constant companion. I didn't think I was going to be able to do tonight. So today is day 43, and I'm going to talk about day 42. I didn't think I was going to be able to do tonight because we had this huge storm come through yesterday and today. And tonight, like when I went to film this, it was so loud outside that I would have had to have been screaming for you to hear me at all. It was just so loud. It was so bad that our one of our dogs, who, because we haven't had a big storm in here in ages, they used to be frequent in my day when I was younger. Anyway, so I had to build her a little container and blanket fort so that she'd had somewhere to kind of squirrel in and like a little den kind of thing. So last night the lightning and thunder was beautiful. I love it. I don't know. It's just like kind of like how I feel inside sometimes, but like outside. It's so good. Today wasn't as bad, but it was still, bad enough to scare the little thing. So, yeah, that was interesting. So, day 43, talking about day 42. What I wanted to talk about was, so yesterday wasn't the worst day I've had in the last week. However, there are times when the there's a I really cannot do this task or activity, and then there's a I ideally don't want to do this task or activity because the perceived outcome is not as good as the effort required to do the activity, nor can it seem worth how it's going to affect me afterwards. So yes, I could do that activity or action or task, but it's going to wipe me, like more than I'd really care to for that particular task or action. Now the thing with that is when I do that kind of thing, I generally feel a bit, I think lazy is the word, or maybe a little dishonest. Like if I say, I need to cancel an appointment or not do one of my jobs, like, could I have gone to that appointment? Could I have done that job? Unless I'm like really physically unable to, then it's quite likely that I could. But how it will leave me afterwards, if it's an unknown quantity, or like it's definitely going to just wipe me and I'll be useless. I will miss out on more activities and actions that I need to do if I do this one than if I skip it. So I occasionally I will cancel an appointment or not do a job required. I let myself have an out, and like I said, sometimes, so this, I feel sometimes like a bit dishonest if I say no, I can't do it. What I'm really saying is, unless I really can't, like bedridden, or that ill, uh, I can do it, but it is asking more than I'm willing to give right now because I know what will come afterwards is going to cost more than this. Like I'll lose out more by doing this one thing. But that can be really hard because sometimes that's the same feeling as like you're just not feeling like doing it, which is where you've got to be really honest with yourself. You don't want to say, oh, I'm not feeling it. Oh, if I do this activity, oh, I'll be useless for other ones. I'm not talking about having an out or bailing on your commitments or bailing on yourself or bailing on your goals. But there are times when you're honest with yourself that the action or activity is going to do more harm than good. There are other times when you've just got to grin and bear it, get up, do it. Like you just have to. Sometimes life requires that you participate even when you don't want nor feel like doing it. Those are not easy days, not easy at all. So yesterday wasn't my worst day, but like I said, it all kind of compounds a bit. So it's hard for me to say, oh, this day is worse than the other day, because it might feel worse one day, but then you'll have signs in that today is actually worse than the other days, but you don't feel it as much. So it gets a little bit lost in your head, kind of like you're chasing your tail sometimes, which is why it's really good to learn about yourself as much as possible. So you know, like, no, this is objectively, this is not good, I need to stop. Or, no, I just don't feel like doing it, which is not the same as that I cannot do it. When you cannot do something, that's really generally very definite. Otherwise, sometimes it's not as definite, and the grey areas is what can catch you. Like this morning I had to cancel an appointment. Could I have gone to that appointment? Yes. I would have been so not good for the rest of the day, like worse than I was. I would have just been, it would have not been good. And there's really no way I can quantify good, not good, but it wouldn't have been worth that. However, I was an adult and I let the person know that I wasn't going to be able to see them as soon as I could. And then I followed up later on the day when I felt better. You know, it wasn't just a meh, I'll deal with it. Yeah, so that's what I want to share about is that difference between just not feeling it and having to objectively go, no, okay, if I do this, I will exaggerate for a moment. If I do this 30k walk, I'm not going to be able to make dinner for the family. So making dinner for the family kind of comes first, kind of. You know, go on a smaller walk or something like that. But it's that kind of like, oh, like, no, I'll be fine. I'll go for the walk. I'll have a sleep, and then I'll be able to cook dinner. You know, that might be your jobs for the day. So it's an interesting one there. That's for sure. And why I didn't do the yesterday's video, day 42, was because I didn't. Like, when I think about it, I just didn't, if I'm going to be honest. I just didn't. It didn't. I was mindful of it. I knew it. But we had the storm, worse storm than tonight, for a lot longer. So my filming period was just, you wouldn't have been able to hear me. So there was like an environmental cause there. I can't actually remember yesterday well enough to know whether or not I kind of just left it or if I had a window of opportunity sometime at night. But I don't remember that window of opportunity. Like, it's 10 to 12 now on day 43. Because I was like, the rain died down long enough. I was like, all right, let's do this. Okay. So know those differences, and just be honest with yourself as much as possible. Don't be harsh on yourself, but be as harsh. Don't only be as harsh as on yourself. Only be as harsh on yourself as is productive. Blah. And by that I mean, there's no good, like, beating yourself up doesn't produce a good result. Taking active steps to complete your tasks at hand or things that you need to do, those are productive. Internally or verbally getting at yourself or berating yourself doesn't actually cause a change. You just make yourself feel worse, and you create a cyclic downward spiral of doom. It's unnecessary. It's unnecessary. It's not required. It doesn't actually help. You don't need to do it. So if you do it, just stop. Like, that's how easy it is. Just stop. Don't continue. Just stop. And then work on teaching yourself what kind of action you would like to be able to do next time, what kind of response you'd like to do next time, and take away that rah 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 at yourself. You don't need any of that. Your life is full of enough challenges, and there are many people in the world who will quite happily berate or put you down or be harsh with you, and you don't need to add to it. You don't need to add to it for yourself, and you don't need to add to it with other people. And those people that do berate or put you down or be harsh with you, you don't need to deal with them either. So you can just remove it as much as possible from your life. All right? However, you should start with yourself, because you're the only person you have to deal with 24/7. From the day you were born to the day you're dead, you're the only person that you have to deal with 24/7. So start with yourself, and then remove it from the other aspects of your life. So thank you very much for letting me share with you day 43 for 42. And I hope you have a great day, evening, night, wherever you are. If you've got any questions, fire away. And any questions, fire away. Feel free to like, share, subscribe. And thank you very much for letting me share with you today, day 43.